You're watching Your View.
Thank you for joining us.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM.
SoCal Sports Talk.
Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. We welcome you back to the 7 Mile Casino Studios. This is Kaplan and Crew, along with Grande and the Brown Man. And I always tell everybody, these hours that we spend together each day are my favorite hours of my day. And I'm dead serious. I'm not just saying that. I say it because it's where I close out my doors. You know, my phone is over here. I'm not paying attention to it. I can't talk to my kids for these hours. This is my favorite time of the day. And let me tell you, Grande and Brown Man, the world is spinning out of control and really fast right now. Do you guys know a whole bunch of people?
The world or for you?
My world in particular. But do you guys know a whole bunch of people right now that have COVID?
Not a whole bunch.
No?
I do not.
Well,
I hear a bunch of people saying that they know people who got it. Me personally, I don't know anyone currently with it.
wow.
I do know some, but I wouldn't say a lot. I would say a week ago I knew a lot. Not this week.
I know so many people that currently have COVID. And I was talking to a guy the other day. I went to the Brigantine in Del Mar, and I ran into a bartender there that I've known for years. Shout out to Jay. And he said to me, he goes, hey, how you doing, man? How's your holidays going? And I said, oh, things are going really good, as a matter of fact. Thank you. How are you? He's like, oh, okay. I go, gosh, it's kind of slow in here tonight. He said, yeah, you know why? I said, no. He goes, because everybody has COVID. I'm like, they do? He goes, yeah, you haven't heard? I go, no, I was out of town for a week. I was in Mammoth for a week. And he goes, yeah, dude.
COVID.
Well, no, here's what happened. He goes, dude, you know how many restaurants have shut down because they didn't have enough employees because of COVID? I'm like, no. And he started listing off this place, this place, this place. I'm like, you're kidding me. He's like, no, I'm telling you, they were closed.
Emergency rooms are not shut down, but like so low staffed because of that.
Dude, how about flights? Flight cancellations all over the country related to COVID and not enough staffing and so on. I was supposed to go this weekend to Cincinnati for the Bengals-Raiders game, or I was supposed to go to Buffalo. Who's Buffalo playing in the first round of the playoffs? We should take a look at the
Patriots. The Patriots.
No, the Raiders are playing the Bengals. Yeah, Patriots and Bills. And so the network called me and said that your choice is either Cincinnati or Buffalo. And I said, what are you talking about? What happened to LA? And they said, oh, no, we already booked it out because it was Monday night. We didn't expect the Rams to be on the Monday night game. So now we need you to either go to Cincinnati or to Buffalo. And I went, much love, time out, not going. And they're like, really? How come? I'm like, because, dude, the cancellations of flights all over the country is going to have me missing flights, missing days of work, staying in cities I don't want to be in, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, no, I'm out. Because that's what's going on in our country right now. It's just going on in our world.
I just booked a flight to Chicago for
For
March.
when? March?
I'm hoping it's chill by then.
March when?
11th.
Okay. I just booked a flight on March 4th or 5th to New Orleans. Not that I really want to be going to New Orleans. It's just that my daughter, I think I told you guys, got into Tulane University.
Right.
And she wants to go down there and see it. And I'm like, yeah, let's go down there and see it. And hopefully you hate it, you know, because I don't want you going to New Orleans and I don't want you going to Tulane because I don't want to have to pay for that. You know, like go to Cal Berkeley. Can somebody at UCLA please help me get my daughter into school? She's a really good rower.
What schools is she currently admitted to?
Dude,
Just Tulane?
No, she's gotten into every school she's tried to get into. But Tulane, she got into with like early acceptance, which apparently means you're committing to going.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, yeah. We've already started to put down the deposits. You get into UCLA or Cal Berkeley, you're staying home.
We out.
Yeah. So
Tulane is
what?
No, nothing, man.
Tulane is what?
Tulane's a great place to get an education.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about it. All I know about it is they call it Julane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Yeah. So she's excited to go. All right. Listen, I was saying, though, that the world is like spinning and spiraling out of control with COVID right now. And it seems like everybody in the world I know has it. I mean, literally, when I was in Mammoth last week, I'm like, look, I've been double vaxxed. I've had a breakthrough case. I've been boosted. I'm feeling pretty good about my chances. But, oh, my friend over here, now she's got it. And now this guy has it. And then that kid has it. And now my kid has it, And so, yeah, dude, things are crazy right now. Things
two
are
for two.
What do you mean?
2 kids in the house, 2 kids with COVID, right?
No, 2 kids in the house, 1 kid with COVID. I'm 50-50.
No, but didn't the other one already have it like a week ago?
Maybe.
Oh.
No confirmation on that.
Oh. Sorry.
One of those don't test, don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, if you got symptoms, stay home. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, really. Just don't go out.
Yeah.
All
5 days.
We are in the 7 Mile Casino studio, 7milecasino.com. I mentioned before the break that one of the interesting stories that I think today is the aftermath of what happened. We spent the whole day yesterday, guys, talking about the Chargers and this embarrassing loss to the Raiders. I say embarrassing only because the whole country, in terms of sports talkers, are beating up on Brandon Staley. I mean, everybody's taking their shots at Brandon Staley. In fact, here, I'll go for it right now. Rex Ryan, the former Bills coach, the former Jets coach, Rex Ryan is ripping Brandon Staley on ESPN and taking all of his shots. Alex, can you play for us what now that we're ESPN, I guess we can play all this ESPN
whatever we
stuff.
want
right.
now.
I'll play all the Stephen A stuff I want. Here's Rex Ryan on ESPN TV talking about Charger coach Brandon Staley and that timeout he called.
Robbed as NFL fans that we don't get to see Justin Herbert in the playoffs.
Who robbed us?
The guy with the, well, you know who it was? The dude with the small hat, little hat right there that has no clue. We talked about, this is what he's done all year. Yeah, exactly. This guy coaches like he's a Division III coach that nobody cares about. All right, it's hard not to make the playoffs with a franchise quarterback. But congratulations, you did it. How he faces his football team after this one is incredible to me. Look, the Raiders were content. They were going to take the tie. Mm-hmm. They absolutely were going to take the tie. But homeboy sitting back, timeout. What?
No,
what?
Homeboy.
What? He's sitting back, timeout. You're brilliant with those timeouts. You got a way better football team than you got beat by, and you lost. You're at home. I just think it's ridiculous. And here's the thing. People praise him. I'm old school. Rich, you're old school. This guy gets it. Yeah. This dude, I mean, he has no idea. He's got no experience. He got nothing. And to me, you inherited a team. All right. You were born on third base, think you hit a triple. That's this cat right here.
Wow. Wow. I mean, Rex Ryan calls him homeboy, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
But then, you were born on third base, but you hit because you thought you hit a triple. That's this guy.
Said a guy who was born on third base. That's awesome. His father's Buddy Ryan. Yeah, his father's Buddy Ryan, legendary defensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears. So,
but let's examine what he said and what he said. Is there any false things that he said?
No, everything he said was accurate.
Right. At least Rex Ryan made it to the playoffs with a not Justin Herbert quarterback. Mark Sanchez had his flaws, and he still got to the playoffs
in his first
year.
Beat
the Chargers,
right? In his first, in Mark Sanchez's rookie season with the Jets, when the Chargers had LaDainian Tomlinson, Phillip Rivers, Darren Sproles, Antonio Gates, Sean Merriman, Sean Phillips, when they had that team,
Eric Weddle,
Eric Weddle, probably Jamal Williams, I want to say, defensive lineman. I mean, when they had that team, Mark Sanchez in his rookie season came to San Diego with the Jets and beat the Chargers at Qualcomm Stadium. So, listen, Rex Ryan is a character. A lot of people like to ridicule him. It's why ESPN uses him.
Lives to be. I mean, he is meant to be on TV.
Right,
that is what he was born for.
Right.
To do things like that.
The coaching prepared him for TV.
He got hot takes, man. This is a guy who, if you recall, when Kevin O'Connell, the former Aztec football quarterback, who's now the offensive coordinator of the LA Rams, when Kevin O'Connell was with the Jets, I do believe that Rex Ryan was the coach who cut him on Hard Knocks. The thing was,
get a GD snack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rex Ryan was like, on when the Jets were featured on Hard Knocks, he was a character, So he rips Brandon Staley, doesn't call him by his name. That dude with the little head, the little head guy, little homeboy. Yeah, little no experience coach.
I mean, Scott, that's
really
what
hard.
you said. You just said it before it all happened. And I'm not going to try and prop you up and give you all this credit. You literally said he is unqualified for the job. he is not ready to be a head coach in the NFL. Did you or did you not say that when they hired him?
Well, the reason I said that is because he's a very young guy, and I got it. The Sean McVay tree now produces young guys, and the coach in Green Bay has a really good team and a really good quarterback. And the coach in Cincinnati, who fell off the McVay tree, drafted a quarterback last year that in year 2 has turned into a guy who, even though one person I know who doesn't know jack squat about quarterback in the NFL.
John Clayton?
No, you.
Oh.
Actually, as I was talking about you, Browner. Everybody else understands how good Joe Burrow is, except for Browner. But these guys who come from the Sean McVay system, Green Bay, Cincinnati, they're successful. It didn't happen overnight, at least not in Cincinnati, but these guys are successful. Brandon Staley, the Chargers were looking at Brandon Staley, and they hired exactly what they always hire. A guy who wants the job desperately, a guy who's controllable, and a guy who's willing to do it for the least amount of money of anybody else in the NFL. Dude, if you make $3 or $4 million a year as a head coach in the NFL, it's great money. But the reason that the Chargers pay the least amount for head coaches is because they don't go out and get the most coveted guy. They go out and get the guy who wants, right.
First-time head coach Mike McCoy. First-time head coach Anthony Lynn. First-time head coach Brandon Staley. And first-time head coach next guy. You know, I mean, it's just what they do.
And prior to that, Norv Turner was their guy. But Norv would have done, and listen, Norv's driving around right now in San Diego, and Norv's listening. So no disrespect to Norv. Norv had a real resume of many years of winning Super Bowls with the Dallas Cowboys and having been an NFL head coach. So this was not his first rodeo. But even prior to Norv, they got Marty, and we all know the story about Marty 14-2 and them firing him. So they don't know what they're doing. They fire coaches when they're 14-2, and they hire coaches when they're fresh out of high school.
And I think my biggest point being here with this conversation is that Brandon Staley is the reason why the Chargers are not in the playoffs. Brandon Staley is the reason why the Chargers are not in the playoffs. I think it's that simple. When you come in and he didn't inherit the Taylor Cincinnati Bengals. You know, he inherited a talented roster. By all accounts, if you listen to the national media, one of the most talented rosters in the NFL. And really, if you look at it, they have the most starting Pro Bowlers in the NFL. Do they not? Did we not have an argument about that? And they are not in the playoffs. Why are they not in the playoffs? They have a top 3 quarterback in the NFL statistically. They have a legitimately top 3 defensive end. I mean, you can like go down the roster, and you're going to tell me, why are the Chargers sitting at home? Because of their head coach. That's why.
Can't complain about that, man. Ain't really much to say, man. The guy blew it. Man. There's no other way to cut that. There's no way to slice that, man. He blew it. And whatever blowback he gets, he deserves it. And I wouldn't be surprised. The only reason why I know you won't turn on the TV and see him get Brian Flores is because they don't want to pay him.
It's the first year, too.
It's his first year, yeah. I mean,
he finished with a winning record and blah, 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 blah. I told you guys, and I will die on this rock. If you are competitive, and if you make the playoffs like every other year, every 3 years, it'll take a long time for Dean Spanos to fire you. It'll take a very long time. The reason Anthony Lynn got fired is because he just kept getting worse. If Brandon Staley sticks 9-8, 10-7, maybe has a 7-10 season, if he sticks in that area for his entire career, it'll be a very difficult thing for him to get fired.
Well, could you imagine him having this conversation, though? But just imagine this conversation. We should fire him. That was so dumb. We're not in the playoffs because of him. We should fire him. And then somebody goes, but Dean, we hired a child who had never been a head coach anywhere, not at Pop Warner, not at high school, not at the D3 college level, not NAIA. This guy's never been a head coach. Well, why did we hire him? Because he was cheap. We didn't have to move him. We didn't want to move him from New York to LA. That's $5,000 we just saved. He was already living in LA. We hired him because he was inexpensive and he's young and we think he's smart and he's up and coming. But Dean, he's learning on the job. If you didn't want him to be learning on the job, you would have gone out and you would have hired yourself somebody who had real head coaching experience, somebody with a real track record of success. That's not what the Chargers did.
I argue the reason why I say that is what he was supposed to do is be able to stop a guy at 3rd and 6 in overtime for a yard if you put the right defense in. Like, That's his. He was the defensive guy, and that's what failed him this year. It wasn't the offense. It was the defense that failed them this year. They are not short of talent on defense at any position, and that was their worst component on the football field. Not special teams, not offense, defense, and that's what you hired this guy to do.
You hired guys to take you through the end of a season the right way. When the Chargers were going through they started off great, and when the real questions were going to be asked, they had the Chiefs game. They lost that game. It was a crazy game, but they lost the game. They lost 3 of their last 4 games. That's when you're pushing for the playoffs, you can't lose 3 or 4. And they simply lost 3 or 4. Good teams don't do that.
And so you have to also ask yourself, in the places where he was deficient, in the places where you look at this guy and you go, okay, well, that was bad, but he can fix it. This was bad here. Is he going to get better at these things? Because I don't think the defense is going to get any better. What can you add to that now? Because you had a decent record, so your pick's not going to be high. You don't have any money because you paid all these guys on offense and defense. So what can you marginally get better at
they
next
brought in,
year?
Everybody was talking about all the guys they brought in the offseason. They solidified their offensive line.
Right.
They brought in all these other guys. It's like Tom Telesco's doing his job. And you're right, Browner. The defense, I'll look it up to be totally correct right now. Before week 18 of the NFL season, they were 31st out of 32 in points given up in the NFL.
And this is a guy
roster,
right? And this is a guy who's the advertisement on him was he just led the Rams to the number 1 defense in the entire NFL.
Right.
That's why we're hiring this young, sharp, defensive-minded coach.
Again,
listen. We all criticized Anthony Lynn for clock management.
As he should have been.
The same criticism goes to Brandon Staley for the same issue.
Chargers finished 30th out of 32 teams. You know who they're better than defensively, points per game?
Ooh,
the Jets and the Lions.
Oh my!
What?
Yep.
That's it.
How about that?
The Chargers gave up 27 points per game.
Wow.
Only the Lions and the Jets gave up more.
That's fireable in itself.
Yeah, well,
for a guy that's supposed to be a defensive,
he's not an offensive coach.
The guy that's coached defense his entire life. I mean, we look at his roster or his resume. Since he's been in the NFL, outside linebackers coach, defensive coordinator. He is a defensive guy, even though he played quarterback in college.
But you just said that right there. Look at his resume. Wasn't his resume literally 3 seasons?
In the NFL, yeah.
Yeah, 2 as a position coach, 1 as a coordinator, and a head coach. This guy was a head coach in 4 years. Listen, did the Chargers have a winning record this year? Yeah. Were they in playoff position? Yes, they were. Did they fall apart at the end of the year? That's what happened. Did they make a monster mistake with 32 seconds to go in the game? Yeah. Who's to blame? The head coach. That's all.
And it's rare when you can do that. It's very rare when everyone can agree on who made the mistake, the head coach. It's very rare. It's usually, this guy fell down or this guy did this.
You can point to
everybody's like, it's the coach.
And the one play that we're pointing to, if you are going to blame a specific play, is the coach calling a timeout.
Right.
And then switching out his personnel in the wrong way.
Right.
Taking his linebacker out, putting a safety in.
You call a timeout because it's 3rd and 6, and your whole thing is, and you come to the podium after the game. I called the timeout to make sure I had the right personnel because I knew they were going to run the ball, and then they still ran the ball. You knew what they were going to do. They did it, and they just did it successfully when you called the timeout to make sure that they wouldn't do it successfully. So I think it's interesting that Rex Ryan goes on national television and just reams him, doesn't call him by his name, ridicules him for being too young, too inexperienced. I like to do that stuff. I didn't expect Rex Ryan to do that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's
I think
rare
step
when
one,
blast up the coaches too.
I think step one is the media talking about you that way. But it's only year 1. If your team starts believing that you're unqualified, that's when you got a problem. And so far, it looks like this team really does love the guy. Post-game celebrations, all that stuff, they look like they really do like the guy. But media, step 1. Locker room, step 2.
But
when that goes, you've lost it.
Yeah. After a game like that, there are guys in there whispering.
Well, I agree with you, Browner. You see those celebrations after the game, they love him. But when they start to doubt him, they will no longer respect him.
Yeah.
And it's only 1 game, but it was a game that cost this team the playoffs. All right, stick around. I really wanted to talk about Sean McVay and how he admitted that the Rams were unprepared for a 49er fan takeover. We'll talk about that coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, hey, Alex, that Napoleon grill that you got from West Coast BBQ Shop. Yesterday, you showed us this picture. Brian Bushfield says that on the side of it, there's what's called like a Korean burner. Is that right?
Correct.
And that's because if you ever go to a Korean barbecue place where you make your own stuff, that's supposed to duplicate that. Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
WestCoastBBQShop.com is the web address. Here's a picture of it right here. Ooh, what are you making there?
That's Korean, like bulgogi beef.
Oh,
what?
And then I also got some what are they called? Angus short ribs as well. That's
nice.
actually done already, but
nice.
Yeah, I'm working on it, man. I'm trying to be a grill master.
I like it. WestCoastBBQShop.com or 2330 Proctor Valley Road. That's the mom and pop, brick and mortar. Walk in, see Brian, see his mom, see his wife. It is a true family operation. WestCoastBBQShop.com, 2330 Proctor Valley Road. West Coast BBQ. If you need seasonings, if you need sauces, if you need accessories, if you want to build an outdoor kitchen with an Italian pizza oven, if you want a big green egg, you want it, Brian's got it. West Coast Barbecue, WestCoastBBQShop.com. All right, let's get to the Sean McVay story. Coming up next, we're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. This is Kaplan and Crew.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio.
SoCal Sports Talk.
Kaplan and Crew tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
We are very proud to announce that the Mightier 1090 is SoCal's newest ESPN affiliate. Introducing the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. One of the largest radio stations in North America just got bigger and better. Joining forces with the worldwide leader of sports, ESPN. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
These are challenging times for our community.
The San Diego Food Bank and our North County Food Bank chapter are here if you need help. We have hundreds of locations throughout the county where you can get help with food.
We have food.
It's okay to ask for help. Visit one of our drive-through and walk-up locations.
We can also help you sign up for CopFresh.
If you need help or if you can help, visit SanDiegoFoodBank.org.
Our mission at Shelter to Soldier is twofold. We're saving lives two at a time. We adopt dogs from shelters and rescues across California, and we're training these dogs that are carefully evaluated for 12 to 18 months, and they're going to become psychiatric service dogs that are later placed with post 9/11 combat veterans.
As one of the leading law firms in California, we at the Barnes firm believe it is really important to give back to our community.
This team of amazing individuals has come together, and they've actually sponsored 3 dogs. One of them being our pal Barney, rescued out of a shelter, believe it or not. And he was named after the late Steve Barnes, which brings a lot of personal meaning to the team at the Barnes firm, to our organization. So being able to carry on that legacy through Barney's work and helping fellow veterans, really important to everybody, us included.
It's quite an honor for us to have Barney join the family, and we're looking forward to meeting the service member who he's paired up with.
I founded Driveway Auction after working in the automotive industry, becoming a dealer and questioning the process that puts consumers at a huge disadvantage when selling their cars.
The big difference between Driveway and the other services is that Driveway works for you. If you've ever tried to sell a car, you know that it's an awful process that makes you either go and meet strangers in parking lots to take test drives or sit at the dealership for hours and hours while they wear you down. Driveway eliminated all of that.
With Driveway Auction, we come to you, so we complete the 40-point vehicle inspection from the comfort and convenience of your own driveway.
We send an independent third-party inspector to take measurements of the car, take pictures of it, evaluate the condition.
We use that information to advocate for you, using our network of buyers to compete. And when they compete, you win.
They take over the whole process, and you don't have to do anything.
Our clients get more money and a better process with Driveway.
Everybody at Driveway made me feel so comfortable during the whole process. It was a great experience.
Wilsey Asset Management is an investment advisory firm registered with the SEC. We're a firm that's a fiduciary firm, and we manage $500 million in assets for clients and businesses nationwide. We do better when our clients do better. You want to have a win-win situation. And I saw the same thing with charities. Some of the charities that we're involved in would include Crews for Kids. Another organization that we really helped a lot was Children's Hospital. And there's also other organizations that we help as well in addition to those.
Kind of growing up and seeing how involved my dad was in the community, it really rubbed me, I'm going to say, in the right way. I did kind of take that one step further, I would say, and actually did start my own charity. It's called the Fighters Fight Foundation. What we do is we actually provide experiences to women that are battling stage 3 or stage 4 breast cancer. Our charity is not just about providing the experiences for women, it's also too on educating people. If you want to get involved in the foundation, you can go to our website, fightersfightfoundation.com.
1090 just got bigger and better. Please join us in welcoming SoCal's newest ESPN affiliate, the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. NFL, MLB, NBA, live game, the best sports talk programming with the largest signal in all of California. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Food insecurity is defined as not having sufficient resources to buy food either for yourself or for your family. Folks who are food insecure struggle with not having enough food to eat because maybe they lost their jobs. It is important to not just look at one person as being food insecure, but really looking at them as it could be anyone. The San Diego Food Bank has been around for over 40 years. Our job is to help procure food for San Diego County residents to make sure that no one is going to bed hungry. Accessing food from the San Diego Food Bank is very simple. A lot of our distributions right now are operating as drive-through distributions, so they are safe to attend if you are concerned with getting out of your vehicle and walking into a food pantry. The San Diego Food Bank needs your continued support. Please visit our website at sandiegofoodbank.org, and there you will see all of the different ways that you too can get involved.
There's a difference between just getting there and enjoying the journey. At Team Mazda of El Cajon, we put you in the driver's seat of the best cars around. From our stylish crossover SUVs to our classic sedans and sports cars. At Team Mazda of El Cajon, your good credit and trade-in can turn into the Mazda of your dreams. Start enjoying your drive with a new Mazda today. Visit Team Mazda of El Cajon.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
University of San Diego men's basketball returned to the court on Friday. The Torero program had paused team activities due to COVID protocols. USD took on San Francisco but couldn't quite pull out the win, losing their West Coast Conference opener 88-73. On Monday night, USD bounced back, taking down Pepperdine at 72-62, earning their first WCC win of the season. Marcellus Earlington had 16 points with 8 rebounds and went 5 of 5 from the free throw line. Joey Calcaterra had 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists in the win. The Toreros are now 8-7 on the year. Next up for USD, they'll take on Portland at home on Thursday. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Prospect Home Finance, San Diego's mortgage leader, is celebrating 15 years of happy clients. HomeFinance.com is the go-to resource online or on your mobile device to discover your best home loan options.
Hi, I'm Jason Bondrak, CEO at Prospect Home Finance. I want to say thank you to all of our clients, both past and future. As part of our 15-year anniversary, we'll close your home loan in 15 business days.
Start your easy home finance process today at HomeFinance.com.
When California weather conditions create a high risk for wildfires, electric companies may shut off power in some neighborhoods as a precaution. These public safety power shutoffs could affect homes and businesses and interrupt power to your home, devices, and even our Cox facilities. During a PSPS, we'll work hard to keep customers connected to their Cox services in conditions that are safe for you, our employees, and our community. For information and updates, follow us on Twitter and visit Cox.com.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM, a new generation of radio.
SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Hey, great friends, what's going on? It is a Tuesday afternoon here on Kaplan and Crew, along with Grande and the Brown Man. We come to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. And I think for most of you, you probably heard on the radio or watched on YouTube, or maybe you caught up to us last night on Cox's Your View Network, or maybe you just found out about it on social media yesterday. Big announcement yesterday afternoon was that 1090 has become ESPN 1090. So for those of you that are listening right now going, well, what exactly does that mean? It means that all the ESPN radio programming that we wanted to have on these airwaves, we finally have. So like, for example, Major League Baseball, assuming baseball plays this season, the opening night Sunday night baseball game, well, I don't remember who the Padres were playing, but that Padres game is supposed to air here on 1090. And as Bill Hagan, the owner of 1090, said yesterday in a press release, getting ESPN is step one. Getting the Padres back on 1090 is step two. So that was a big announcement yesterday. Again, my phone's been blowing up. I had a guy call me this morning from New York who said, "Hey, congratulations, man. That's unbelievable." And I'm like, "It is?" But then I realized that, people on the outside, if you will, and certainly people on the inside of the business, they kind of think it's a very big deal. And I guess in our industry, connecting with ESPN and becoming the San Diego affiliate, it is a big deal. You guys had similar reaction?
For me, yeah. Most people I talked to thought it was great, thought it was huge. I mean, anytime you attach ESPN to something and you become a part of that, like that obviously is the most recognizable name in sports when it comes to broadcasting and entertainment. So we in good spot, baby. We in good spot.
Yeah.
Good spot. Good spot.
Yeah, I know. And now we're trying to figure out if Browner, when he runs for mayor, do we bill him as ESPN's John Browner?
Right.
Is ESPN okay with that, attaching themselves to a mayoral candidate?
Right. Do they want to get involved in politics, especially local nonsense,
Are you allowed to say, from ESPN? Because that doesn't mean ESPN's endorsing you. That just means that that's where you work. That's where you're
Again,
from.
I've already said this out loud to many people. I don't need endorsements. I just need signatures. And when time to get endorsements, I'm a man of the people. My main objective is to take care of my citizens of San Diego County and to make sure that your living gets better under the Brown Party. That's it.
Right.
Primarily,
what can Brown do for you?
Primarily
Brown
the park across the street, right?
Yeah.
Well, you got to start somewhere, okay? If you're gonna help the city, you got to start with your block.
Yeah.
Clean up your neighborhood first, huh?
Right. You got to clean up your backyard before you go to try to sweep up somebody else's.
Let me ask you this: and I'm going to get to
I
the
got
Sean
an alley
McVay
that
story.
needs repaving.
Is that what you need? So Alex needs an alley repaved. Browner wants the park next to his house in North Park to be fixed up. And I got a couple of streets up here that I'd like to have worked on as well, if you don't mind.
Oh, I don't know, man. You're north of I don't know if you're city of San Diego. I don't know if he would be your mayor.
You may be right, Alex, that I have progressively moved further north. I really have. I have moved further north.
You may have moved yourself out of my jurisdiction.
I know, I may have.
You may have cost yourself some stuff.
I know.
You got 2 years to come back.
Tell you what, man. Do this, Alex. Listen carefully to what I'm saying to you.
Me?
Yeah. Don't get divorced.
Oh.
In fact, you're not even married yet. I'll start. Don't get married.
No, don't tell him that, man. No. I wouldn't say that.
Why?
I think
You were married and divorced.
Yeah. Absolutely. Poorly one, happily the other. What I will tell you this: if you love someone, it's the right thing to do. And I think he absolutely loves his fiance, and I think they're going to be a great marriage and have a great, long, happy marriage.
That's what I thought.
We're Mexicans, man. We're stuck. Once we say I do, we're stuck.
That's it.
Dude, I thought so too. My grandparents were both married till their death. My ex-wife's grandparents were both married till their death. My parents are married over 50 years. My ex-wife's parents still married. I want to say 50 some odd years. So I understand that when you say I do and you say, till death do us part, that's what your intentions are.
You got to know yourself. Listen, this is the only piece of advice I will give any person thinking about getting married or engaged and you're not sure. Know who you are before you get married.
It's not great advice.
It is.
It's not.
Okay.
Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Let me tell you why it's not great advice. You ready?
Please share.
Because who you are today is likely to be vastly different to who you're going to be 10 years or 20 years from now. And by the way, it's not because you chose to change, it's because your chemistry changed. So you don't know, you can't predict. Like I look at friends of mine who are married for all these years and I'm like, gosh, I really have a lot of respect for you guys. I was married 17 years and I didn't make it, you know?
Knowing who you are
Yeah.
allows those transformations to happen with an understanding of which direction you're going. Not knowing who you are, you get into a marriage, and like you said, things start to change because you're sharing a life with another person, and then things get into a direction that you're not comfortable with, and you don't know how to stop that because you don't know who you are, so you necessarily don't know how to speak up in some of these situations, and then you end up communication getting bad, the aura in the home getting off balance, and then after that, you
BS.
Well, can't we all just
I'm
say
not buying
like
that crap.
I mean, just a general
me and you in the
philosophical.
same space, so
Right, that's true.
we
Anyways,
over 2.
all I'm
Yeah.
saying, as a general life philosophy, like nothing in life is guaranteed. So like, why do
Well, of
anything
course.
why do anything if you're worried about what might happen?
There you
Right.
go. Good answer. There you go. No fear of failure, my friend. There
Yeah.
you go. Just go into it. Just go right into it.
Yeah,
Why
balls
ask
to
if
the
it's
wall.
a chicken nugget? What's in the chicken nugget? Why? Eat it.
Yeah. How many hot dogs you eaten before?
Thousands.
Yeah.
God, I
You go to-
wanted a I
You go to
wanted a hot
Taco
dog.
Bell? You ever been to Taco Bell?
Yeah.
You know what's gonna happen after?
Yeah.
You still do it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know they got a taco subscription now?
You know they got wings now?
What?
Why? What?
Yeah.
No.
Taco
In
Bell has
select-
wings?
They do have a taco subscription. I believe it's $10 a month, and it's all you can eat tacos.
I think you get one taco a day,
Yeah.
every day.
And then there is a certain locations now have chicken wings as
On
a
the
try.
tacos?
And it looks like, okay, no disrespect, Vaughn's, but it looks like the Vaughn's chicken wings with
You mean
all
those-
breading and
those
no
big
chicken.
bready ones? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Wait, are these boneless wings or are they wings?
Wings.
Where are all
bone.
these chickens, man? Where are all these chickens? I will repeat this again because I will repeat this during Super Bowl weekend. There are not that many chickens for there to be so many places serving chicken. It's virtually impossible.
I mean, in San Diego, but if you've been in the middle of America, probably lots of chickens.
There are more people in San Diego County than there are in Montana, than there are in both the Dakotas, in Idaho. So yes, there are lots of empty spaces. It's called the flyover parts of America for a reason.
That's where the chickens are.
But when
That's
you
where they're
get
raised.
when you get to Los Angeles and there are 10 million plus people, there are 3 million plus people here, and we all eating chicken. Okay? Something's not right.
No, there's plenty of chickens. I think you're wrong. I think your whole chicken statistical
Yeah.
analysis is all wrong. I think
You sound like the birds aren't real guy right now.
Dude, I think there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of chickens.
You ever catch a bird?
Billions is probably right. You're probably
Have you
right.
ever
Alex.
caught a bird?
What do I need to catch a bird for?
I've definitely run over a few.
Let me. What you said is great. Okay, there are millions of chickens. You are
Billions.
correct. Okay, there are billions. You want to say billions?
Oh, there's billions of chickens.
Okay, you know what happened to me? I get a 20 piece. I'm one person. Okay, so that one bird, that's mine. I ate 10 birds yesterday. All right, because I had a 20 piece. All right, so I took out 10 birds by myself. I know a lot of people who are doing that. You ever see a party platter?
Well, let me ask you something.
I would say
birds.
the 2010s and beyond, there's probably more chickens now than there was in 2000s because of all the vegans and vegetarians.
No, bro. Again, I eat 20. I started with a 20 piece, bro. I don't know nobody who started with.
I never heard the
nothing.
word vegan until like 2016.
Because that ain't
now,
now, birds ain't
and now
real. Vegans
everybody's
ain't real.
Listen, let me ask you something. Are you telling me that Chick-fil-A is closed on Sunday because there's not enough chickens for 7 days out of the week?
I mean, listen, that's more Lord based, but you know the Lord could have been like, hey, we run out of chickens. Y'all got to shut down on Sunday.
Well, I'd like a little Chick-fil-A.
That's real chicken, too.
Chick-fil-A sounds good.
Is
Spicy-
it though?
Spicy chicken deluxe sounds really
Like,
good.
How come if we love chicken wings, if everything could be a chicken wing, how come you can't cook a pigeon wing?
You ever had quail?
Dan Quail? No, that's a
No.
dude.
No,
Quail's
not
good.
Dan Quail. Quail, the bird.
Yeah.
No, I never had no quail, man. What is that?
Well, you asked if you can eat a pigeon. I was like, well, pretty much, yeah.
You can eat a pigeon.
You can eat pigeon pie. You ever seen Game of Thrones?
That's a
It's
TV
true.
show. That ain't real.
No, that is real. That's historical. That's
Historically
history.
real.
That's
Pigeon
real
pie.
history in
Yeah.
America.
Find
Yeah,
them,
I bet
find
that
them,
is.
find them. Listen, find the billion chickens. All right,
All
since
right, we
y'all,
will.
since this is an investigative reporter show now,
Yeah.
find the billion chickens.
Well, now that we're with ESPN. All right, look,
Right.
we're in the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com. I want to talk about this Sean McVay thing. This is interesting to me. And I gotta be honest about it, right? Because we have ridiculed the Chargers
Mhm.
for years. Since they moved to LA and when they were playing inside the Galaxy Soccer Stadium in front of 27,000 people, of which 26,998 of them were for the opposing team. And it didn't matter who the opposing team was. It could be Houston, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, obviously. It didn't matter. If you came into LA for a Chargers game, the soccer stadium was overrun by the opposing team's fans. This year, when fans were allowed back into SoFi Stadium, more often than not, whether it was New England or Pittsburgh or Cleveland or name your team, the opposing fan base took over SoFi Stadium. And we all ridiculed the Charger organization for that. But we had not seen that same scenario with the Rams. Now, when the Rams were playing at the Coliseum, I can tell you guys, I did a Rams-Bills broadcast for CBS going back a couple of years ago. And there was one section of the Coliseum that was all Bills fans. Call it 10,000 people. But there were 65,000 or 70,000 people in the stadium. Even when I saw the Dallas Cowboys in a playoff game against the Rams at the Coliseum, it was a Rams-centric crowd. When the Cowboys played at SoFi Stadium, it was a Rams-centric crowd. So why is it that when the 49ers played the Rams on Sunday, in what was still a very meaningful game for the Rams were trying to position themselves as number 2 in the NFC behind Green Bay. By losing that game, they fell all the way to number 4. Now, granted, they've got a home playoff game against Arizona, 4 versus 5. But the reality is they could have had a home playoff game this upcoming week, and then they could have had another home playoff game the following week had they won. They didn't have home field throughout, but they at least had home field throughout the first 2 weeks. And who knows what happens? I mean, if Green Bay were to get knocked off, the Rams could have had home field throughout. But they didn't because they lost this game to San Francisco on Sunday. You're up 17-0 to a team that has beaten you 5 straight times. You're at home and you're playing for the number 2 playoff position in the NFC, and you let a team like that come back on you the way they did, you're up 17-0 and you lose that game. But I think the most interesting part of all of it is Sean McVay admitting we, the Rams, were unprepared. See, the Chargers at least prepare. The Chargers practice with crowd noise because they know that the opposing fans are going to make it really hard for communication. The Rams had no expectation that the Niner fans were going to take over. Here's what Sean McVay said.
Yeah, I think, it did catch us off guard. I think just because of the way that it's been this year. I mean, you've been at all those games, Lindsay. I mean, it's been a great atmospheres, great environments. Yesterday was the same thing, but there was a lot of red there. And that was, that was definitely, it was a surprise, I think is a fair way to put it.
It was a surprise.
Can we just call it what it is? Can we call this what it is?
Go ahead.
There's no thirst for football in Los Angeles. Let's just call it what it is. Because if we know what happened with the Chargers, so we won't continue to belabor that point. This was just as bad as anything that happened to them. Like the 49er crowd absolutely blanketed that stadium in a very important game for both teams. So it wasn't like it didn't mean anything to the Rams. So I am under the impression that the NFL wanted football so bad in Los Angeles that they didn't take into account that maybe the people of Los Angeles didn't want football. Because if there were real hardcore football fans in a town of 10 million people, you mean to tell me you can't find, 60,000 people who are dedicated to the Rams that'll show up in a game of that importance? Come on now.
See, I think your point is on, but I'll make an adjustment. It's not that there's not a thirst for football in LA. It's that the fans are very willing to part with their tickets rather than saying, no, I have to be there. In other words, look, if there were 60,000 people in SoFi Stadium using round numbers, let's say 70,000, 35,000 of them were Rams fans and 35,000 of them were Niner fans. But the Niner fans were all wearing red and it looked like they had blanketed the place. And the noise watching on television would have you believe that there were way more Niner fans than there were Rams fans. I talked to a lot of people who were at that game and they're like, yeah, 50-50. Well, that's what I said the day that I went to see the Browns play the Chargers, 50-50. But you see, at a Charger game, 50-50 is a loss. At a Rams game, there was no expectation that it would get to 50-50. Here's Sean McVay saying, the way things have gone this year with a real home field advantage, we never prepared, never thought that Niner fans would take over. I blame the Ram fans themselves. This was a huge game in a monster moment of the season where they really needed a home field. And what did all those Rams fans do? They put their tickets on a ticket exchange, sold their tickets, and all those Niner fans either came from the Bay Area or there are a lot of Niner fans in LA because a lot of these kids grew up without a football team and they saw the Niners' success of the late 80s.
So I think we're talking about two things here at the same time. I think to Browner's point, about there's no appetite for football in Los Angeles. You know what number of people were there, Browner? 100% capacity, 71,500 people. This is the NFL's problem that they don't care about because they don't see it as a problem. The NFL, all they cared about was the market. They didn't care about the fan bases. They didn't care about who went to the game. They just cared about the market. We want to be back in Los Angeles because there's so many damn people there that have not had a team there like me for 30 years. We've adopted other teams. The only thing the NFL cared about was not the Rams fans, not the Chargers fans. They cared about the market, and they got the market. They got their stadium. They got their new shiny NFL headquarters for NFL Network. They're fine, and they're doing dandy because you know what matters? That 100% capacity, which was still there. If they cared about the attendance of who was there and when, they would have addressed it for the past 3 years with the Chargers. Like, that was an embarrassment for the league, and they didn't care because there were still people there. Secondly, when we're talking about this game specifically, this is Sean McVay's problem. His inability to adjust in game. We've been talking about it all year. When he trails at halftime, he loses. This time, for his first time ever, he lost. He's 45-1 now because they were winning at halftime because he couldn't adjust to the crowd noise. There was no preparation for the possibility of this happening, and it cost him. Stafford was being Stafford, and McVay couldn't adjust. I think that's his biggest problem. When it goes to plan, the Rams are a very good team. When it doesn't go to plan, the Rams can be beat.
I actually think your point is right on that the league doesn't really care about the Rams fan base. They certainly don't care about the Charger fan base. All the league cares about is we wanted to be back in Los Angeles, which is why for all the talk about how the Super Bowl might get moved out of LA, I'm like, I don't think so. I think the NFL would rather play the game in LA with no fans than move the game to Dallas with fans. I don't really think they care so much about the fans. I think they care exclusively about the market.
A little inside knowledge. That game is happening in LA.
No question.
The California secretary said the health secretary said it's happening. The NFL is emailing us about plans for Radio Row literally every day. Like, how many hotel rooms do you want? They don't care. Radio Row's happening. It's all happening. It is what it is.
Would you guys go to Radio Row?
No.
I kind of would.
No.
Kind of would. I changed my stance, man. Like, I don't know. Like,
I haven't gotten COVID not one time. This entire time I've gotten the shots. I've got
Not that bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're a 3-time survivor.
Right.
You deserve a Purple Heart of COVID.
I know it's bad for some people.
I have not gotten it. I have been safe in public places.
Freaking Neo in the Matrix.
Yeah, I've been protecting myself in crowded places. Like, I haven't gotten it yet. I would not go to a place where I would have to be maskless in a room full of people from all across the country. I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Can you imagine? Like, they're gonna make us wear masks. Like, that's gonna happen. Can you imagine doing a 3-hour show with a mask on?
Forget it.
Oh,
seriously, I can't hear anybody when they have masks on. Now, I walk into a place, people are wearing masks. I'm like, excuse me, what? And then they speak out. I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. I just can't hear you with the mask.
I don't know if this is like public knowledge, but I'm sure somebody will say it, so I'll say it. Sorry, ESPN. Like, the NFL is requiring everyone that goes to Radio Row to have booster shots. like everyone that goes to Radio Row has to have a booster shot. It's not about negative tests. It's like straight up, like you have to have a booster shot.
All right, hold on. I want to talk more about this, this idea of the Super Bowl being moved and would we or wouldn't we go? Hold on one second. Before we do, I want to mention our friends at Corky's Pest Control, 1-800-901-1102. If you have ants or spiders or rodents or termites, if you have a pest control problem, Corky's has pest control solutions. I know I've told the story and you're probably tired of hearing it, but I'm super proud of it. Our man, Bob Roush, the other BR, had a hotel in Carmel Valley that had termites. He called Corky's Pest Control because they not only do your home, but they can also do commercial properties as well. Big job for Corky's, but Bob needed it done. Bob's a great friend. Corky's a great advertiser. Put the two of them together. Win, win, win. If you have any pest control needs of any kind, you call Corky's Pest Control. Cork takes care of it. Call 1-800-901-1102.
Cookies.
Let's take a look at the playoff weekend. I know it's only Tuesday, but let's start looking ahead. Let's see the matchups. We'll get there coming up in just a couple of minutes. Cancellations at San Diego State due to COVID. We'll get to that story coming up as well. Stay with us, everybody. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios here on Kaplan and Crew.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio.
SoCal Sports Talk.
Kaplan and Crew tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
We are very proud to announce that the Mightier 1090 is SoCal's newest ESPN affiliate. Introducing the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. One of the largest radio stations in North America just got bigger and better. Joining forces with the worldwide leader of sports, ESPN. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Great things can be achieved when a community comes together. Join Erica Cardenas on Doing More as she introduces you to ordinary people working side by side to confront tremendous challenges and make a positive impact in their community. Watch Doing More Sunday night at 6 on YourView or stream it online at yourview.com. Sponsored by The Burns Firm, partnering with Shelter to Soldier and saving lives two at a time. Visit theburnsfirm.com/shelter to soldier and help save more lives. Brought to you by Prospect Home Finance. Fast, friendly, affordable.
Prospect Home Finance, San Diego's mortgage leader, is celebrating 15 years of happy clients. HomeFinance.com is the go-to resource online or on your mobile device to discover your best home loan options.
Hi, I'm Jason Bondrak, CEO at Prospect Home Finance. I want to say thank you to all of our clients, both past and future. As part of our 15-year anniversary, we'll close your home loan in 15 business days.
Start your easy home finance process today at HomeFinance.com.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
University of San Diego men's basketball returned to the court on Friday. The Torero program had paused team activities due to COVID protocols. USD took on San Francisco but couldn't quite pull out the win, losing their West Coast Conference opener 88-73. On Monday night, USD bounced back, taking down Pepperdine 72-62, earning their first WCC win of the season. Marcellus Earlington had 16 points with 8 rebounds and went 5 of 5 from the free throw line. Joey Calcaterra had 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists in the win. The Toreros are now 8-7 on the year. Next up for USD, they'll take on Portland at home on Thursday. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
1090 just got bigger and better. Please join us in welcoming SoCal's newest ESPN affiliate, the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. NFL, MLB, NBA, live game, the best sports talk programming with the largest signal in all of California. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Today, we proudly held the ribbon cutting ceremony for our new office in La Jolla, California. Here we are in the Merrill Lynch building, right in the middle of the village, and really, really happy to be part of this neighborhood. This is really special to Prospect in that it almost signifies the fact that we've grown up officially. We have survived the past 15 years by being very agile. We come to this one amazing location from 3 separate offices. So it's fantastic having everyone under one roof. This is going to do wonders in terms of streamlining our operations, being able to communicate with someone down the hall as opposed to someone who's several blocks away is going to be terrific. Our CEO, Jason Vondrack, he's a very humble person, but I know this day really, really means a lot to him in that he has led this company for 15 years, and he started this business out of a studio apartment, and look where we are now. That's huge. I think this new space signifies just endless possibilities for Prospects. I mean, we're headquartered in La Jolla, but we do business all around the country. So our goal is to be licensed to offer home financing in all 50 states, and we're well on our way.
Prospect Home Finance. Fast, friendly, affordable.
Food insecurity is defined as not having sufficient resources to buy food either for yourself or for your family. Folks who are food insecure struggle with not having enough food to eat because maybe they lost their jobs. It is important to not just look at one person as being food insecure, but really looking at them as it could be anyone. The San Diego Food Bank has been around for over 40 years. Our job is to help procure food for San Diego County residents to make sure that no one is going to bed hungry. Accessing food from the San Diego Food Bank is very simple. A lot of our distributions right now are operating as drive-through distributions, so they are safe to attend if you are concerned with getting out of your vehicle and walking into a food pantry. The San Diego Food Bank needs your continued support. Please visit our website at sandiegofoodbank.org, and there you will see all of the different ways that you too can get involved.
Our mission at Shelter to Soldier is twofold. We're saving lives 2 at a time. We adopt dogs from shelters and rescues across California, and we're training these dogs that are carefully evaluated for 12 to 18 months, and they're going to become psychiatric service dogs that are later placed with post 9/11 combat veterans.
As one of the leading law firms in California, we at the Barnes firm believe it is really important to give back to our community.
This team of amazing individuals has come together, and they've actually sponsored 3 dogs. One of them being our pal Barney, rescued out of a shelter, believe it or not. And he was named after the late Steve Barnes, which brings a lot of personal meaning to the team at the Barnes firm, to our organization. So being able to carry on that legacy through Barney's work and helping fellow veterans, really important to everybody, us included.
It's quite an honor for us to have Barney join the family, and we're looking forward to meeting the service member who he's paired up with.
Kaplan Accrued Tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
Wilsey Asset Management is an investment advisory firm registered with the SEC. We're a firm that's a fiduciary firm, and we manage $500 million in assets for clients and businesses nationwide. We do better when our clients do better. You want to have a win-win situation. And I saw the same thing with charities. Some of the charities that we're involved in would include Cruise for Kids. Another organization that we really helped a lot was Children's Hospital. And there's also other organizations that we help as well in addition to those.
Kind of growing up and seeing how involved my dad was in the community, it really rubbed me, I'm going to say, in the right way. I did kind of take that one step further, I would say, and actually did start my own charity. It's called the Fighters Fight Foundation. What we do is we actually provide experiences to women that are battling stage 3 or stage 4 breast cancer. Our charity is not just about providing the experiences for women, it's also too on educating people. If you want to get involved in the foundation, you can go to our website, fightersfightfoundation.com.
If you love animals, Animal Zone is for you. From rescues to animal experts, Animal Zone is fun for the whole family. Watch Animal Zone right here on YourView, Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. And visit animalzone.org to learn more about the show.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
Welcome to the